You get what you want out of life when you truly want what you get. And I feel like so many people chase outcomes, not understanding that they're in complete control over their fate. And I was just doing a little bit of research and I had a discussion with my friend about this the other day. But fate is often something that's viewed as out of our control, where we end up in the long run, things that we see that are passing or that are ultimately have already happened, most people consider that fate. And I agree with this partially, but I want you to know today that each and every decision that you make determines your fate. So if you go out today and you work really hard to become the best version of yourself and you somehow become super rich and wealthy, most people are gonna say, wow, this is your fate. This is what was meant for you. But they won't take into account that fate goes hand in hand with intent. It goes hand in hand with genuine effort, consistency, hard work. Because truth be told, I am not supposed to be where I'm at today. The way that I'm thinking, the way that I'm speaking, nobody would have ever believed that I would be half of the person that I am today. So in a sense, I feel like we create our fate. So once you finally stop fighting what's happening, life starts working for you, not against you. And one thing that I really want you to take into account is the fact that resistance in your current life transcends into resistance in your future. You have to be the person that can attract the lifestyle that you want. I just like to think of it as prerequisites. You don't just go and become a nurse just simply because you want to, right? And that's for any profession. You have to do the work. You have to do the things that are leading up for you to acquire that knowledge, education, or whatever it is that you may need to be able to work into that field. And the same thing applies to life. So if we are to do the things on a daily basis, if our wants and our desires were aligned with our actions, then there is no doubt in my mind that each and every last one of us can't get anything that we want out of life. It is up to you. You're only missing or lacking something because you haven't made up your mind that that's truly what you want. And if you did, then you would have it. If it was meant for you, then you would do everything in your power to see it come to pass in your life. But the fastest way to get ahead is to master where you are. And I've seen so many times in life, we can focus so much on the future. We can focus so much on where we want to be and the things that we may want, the life that we may want to live. And we don't even see the value in this current moment. We don't see how the things that we're doing right now are ultimately creating and writing the script for our future. The work that I'm putting in each and every day right now, and apply the same concept to your life. What you're doing right now, it may not seem like it has an impact, but 5 years from now, 3-4 years from now, you will see that the things that you did in the past, whether you've been eating healthy, whether you've been going to the gym, now it's starting to pay off because the results of your hard work aren't always transparent in that very moment. They have to reveal themselves, and it takes time. And this is something that discourages so many people because they lack patience. They don't understand that that very moment where you may not be getting the recognition that you want, or it may not feel like things are working out, is temporary. But what's not temporary is the consistency and the hard work that you're putting in. The days that you show up for yourself, the nights that you're crying because you're fed up of going through certain things that you may be going through. Those things matter. And what most people lack isn't progress. They just lack perspective. Because I've seen so many times people genuinely try to build. But if you aren't shifting mentally, if you aren't completely changing the way that you're processing this form of growth, then you will always end up back in the same position that you were in before. And in the Bible, it says, do not be a hearer, be a doer. But if you know it, you can quote me how they say it originally. But you do not want to be somebody that just hears the word. You want to be somebody that is a reflection or a representation of the things that you're taking in. Prayer is much more powerful when your words and actions are aligned. This was one of my biggest problems for the longest time because, as we all know, we have a patient God, we have a forgiveful God. Yes, that's true. But just think about it. If somebody was in your face telling you one thing and then their actions was showing another, which one would you believe? Each and every last one of us would focus more on that person's actions, right? Because people can say anything, and this is exactly how God views it. So when your words matches your actions, then you're setting yourself up to receive whatever it is that you want to receive in your life. There's nothing wrong with having wants and desires, whether that's millions of dollars or whatever it is, but you have to position yourself to receive it. You can't just say you want to be great and you aren't doing what great people do. You can't say that you want to be physically fit, but you aren't showing up to the gym every day. It does not work like that. Misery often comes from expecting life to owe you something. Just because you may have potential or you may have been great once upon a time does not mean that you're going to be great today. Potential is something that fades. As time goes on, if you're not living up to the talents that you have, or if you're not working and using them, at some point, they are going to be useless. Life does not owe you anything, but you owe yourself everything. And you give yourself the life that you want by becoming the person that can attract that life. I used to be so delusional in this sense. Not necessarily like in life, but especially in love, because I would say that I want one thing and my actions weren't aligned with my wants. And I used to ask myself, why am I not receiving the things that I desire? And it wasn't because I didn't deeply want it, but it's just because your wants and your actions have to match. Your true peace starts to multiply when you demand different results from yourself. And that's one thing that I truly love about life, because you can have bad patterns, you can have bad habits, you can have been on a cycle of doing something for so much time. But when you demand different, when you want different change, the definition of repent, turn away from it, and walk in the opposite direction, then you can get it at any given moment. It doesn't matter how people view you. It doesn't matter all the dirt and wrong that you've done. You can make the decision. But true success is when you learn that you don't need things to change in order for you to feel different. As hard as that may sound, it's more of a mental thing than anything. You making a conscious decision and allowing yourself to live in that space. But you will get everything that you desire out of your life. I guarantee it. If you follow what I said in this video, if you stop speaking on the things that you want and you start moving as if you truly want those things, then they will come into your life. And that's for each and everything. Life is just so simple, but we do everything in our power to complicate it because we want loopholes. We want the easy route. We want to speak on things and not allow it to be a representation of who we truly are, because we know that that requires energy, that requires effort, that requires time. Things that so many people just aren't willing to sacrifice. But in order to receive, you must give. And it may be you giving the old version of yourself, a version that isn't worthy of the things that you may want. So ask yourself this question right now. Is the life that you want for yourself, whether it's love, whether it's money, whatever it may be, are you willing to allow your actions to align with your wants so that you can receive everything that you want? And if you aren't, then you may not ever receive them. But if you are, then be patient, and I promise you God will open that door in your life. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.